For section 10.6, we're going to be finding a lot of angle measures using secants and tangents. So review from earlier that if we had a circle, let's draw a circle over here, and the center was, let's say it was about there, I don't remember. And we had an angle that was in the center of the circle, and it was, that looks like a 90-degree angle, that it was actually equal to the arc. Center is equal to arc. If it was on the circle, like this angle right here is, and let's call that 15 degrees, that it was actually half of the arc. On angles are arc divided by 2. And those were two that we did in sections 10.2 and 10.3. And we're going to use those to help us figure out two new ones. So when an angle is in the circle, in the middle, where it's not exactly on the center, I know it's more than 70, but it's got to be less than 170, so it's somewhere in the middle of those two. And what we actually do is we're going to take those two and we're going to average them. 170 plus 70 over 2. When you add those two up, you get 240 over 2, so that angle is 120 degrees. So an in angle, and I'm going to use the same notation for angles that are outside, so we're going to do big arc plus small arc divided by 2. Now, if the arcs are actually the same, it's in the center of the circle. So there is one that's going to be bigger and one that's going to be smaller. If an angle's outside the circle, it's definitely less than 80, and it's more than 20, but it's not halfway in between like it was before. What we're actually going to do is we're going to subtract. We're going to take the big arc minus the small arc and divide that by 2. So let's get rid of that. The angle is 80 minus 20 over 2, and 80 minus 20 is 60. 60 over 2, so x is 30 for that angle. So angles outside the circle, even if it's a secant and a tangent versus this one being two secants where the two lines go through the circle, since this one's just a tangent, it's still an angle that's outside the circle. This physical angle is outside the circle, so you're still doing big minus small divided by 2. 100 minus 30 is 70, so x is 35. So this is still the same, big minus small divided by 2. Two tangents, though, we can actually do something a little bit different. If I do big minus small, 260 minus 100 over 2, 260 minus 100 is 160, 160 over 2 is 80. So we can still do big minus small divided by 2, or 80 plus 100 is 180, and 260 minus 100 minus 80 equals 180. So big minus angle equals 180, or big, small, let me finish writing this, small plus angle equals 180. Now the reason that happens is because these two are forming a full circle. So when you divide each of them by 2, you get 180 when you add the two results together. So this angle, when you're subtracting and dividing by 2, is the complement or the supplement of each one of these. So small plus the angle equals 180. Big minus the angle equals 180. If that's not making sense for you, still go back. Big minus small over 2. We will see some examples though where we do have to do this down here, and we'll get to those in a little bit. So a center angle is equal to the arc. An on angle is the arc divided by 2. An in angle, big plus small divided by 2. And an out angle, big minus small divided by 2. Make sure you have these 4 memorized. Memorizing these 4 will make this unit way easier. The big circle problems that I'm going to be passing out are going to do all of this, and we have to make sure that we're comfortable knowing which one's which. So Let's find angle 4. First off, the physical angle, the vertex of the angle is on the circle. So I have to do on. So I'm doing arc divided by 2. Okay? The arc that it cuts off is this angle subtracted from 360. So if I take 360 and I subtract 324, 360 minus 124 is 236. So this arc is 236. 236 over 2 is 118. So that angle, angle 4, is 118 degrees. Now, angle 1 is not in the center of the circle. It's an in angle. So I have to do big plus small divided by 2. When I do big plus small here, what I'm actually doing is I'm finding these angles. So I will have to do an extra step after. So I'm going to do big plus small over 2. 146 plus 56 gets you 202. And 202 over 2 is, let's call one of those x, is 101. Now, angle 1 and x form a straight line. So, 180 minus 101 gets us that the measure of angle 1 is 79 degrees. We have an angle that's outside the circle. The vertex of the angle is outside the circle. So we have to do the out angle formula. Big minus small divided by 2. So the big angle is 101. Small angle is 39. Divided by 2. 101 minus 39 is 62. And 62 over 2 is 31. So as long as you know the formulas, we're able to fly through these real quickly. Okay, so for this example, the angle itself is actually outside the circle. It's way over here. It's not inside the circle, so we're doing big minus small divided by 2. So the big angle is 5x. It's not an angle measure. The small angle is 63 over 2 equals x. Now to solve this, I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. Or you could put this over 1 and cross multiply. Those will cancel. You get 5x minus 63 equals 2x. When you go to solve this, subtract negative 63 equal to negative 3x, we get that x is 21, positive 21. Be careful with your negative sign. This negative sign here gets forgotten a lot. So as long as we're able to keep that one in the equation, we'll get a positive x. It says find the value of x, so we did. We found 21. If we had to plug it back in, the question said find the big angle, you would be doing 5 times 21, which is 105 degrees. So, next one. It's outside the circle. It is, so we have to do big minus small, but I don't have the small. There's 2 ways to do it, so let's look at the 2 ways. First way is 360 minus 220 gets me 140. So this angle over here is 140, and now I can do big minus small over 2, and then 220 minus 140 is 80, and 80 divided by 2 gets me that x is 40. Or, because I know that these are 2 tangents, I can do big minus angle equals 180. And 220 minus x equals 180. And 220, if you take away 40, you get 180. So it's up to you which one you want to use. Sometimes if you remember it, this one's going to be quicker, the one on the right. But the one on the left will work. It just takes an extra step of having to find this 140. And our last example for this video, we need to find this angle. Since this is 45, I'm missing my big arc. But my big arc is the other part of this semicircle. So 180 minus 45 gets me that this arc is 135. Big minus small over 2. So 135 minus 45 over 2 equals x. 145 or 135 minus 45 gets me 90, and 90 divided by 2 gets me that angle is 45 degrees.